Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, welcome along everyone. Nice to see you again here early on a Sunday morning. The chat's been scrolling through while I've been getting things ready and up and going. Running a little bit behind time, but it is only 6:30 in the morning for me, so you have to excuse me for that. How are we all? Nice to see you, Scott, mate. Great to see you as well, buddy. Long time no chat. Hope all is well. Hope things are going good for you. Legion, how are you, mate? Good to see you. Tanner, welcome along. Scott Free for All was here, and now he's gone, but good to have him around as well. And I did see, before I went to bed last night actually, and I think you said something about it, Scott, Jack Roy for becoming a channel member. That was awesome. It was nice to see that pop up as well. But how's everyone doing? Hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Finnish Farmer, good morning to you, mate. Thank you also for your membership. I saw that pop up during the week, so thank you for joining the channel too. Love to see it, love to see it. Sunday be forgiven. Thank you, Legion, thank you. I've actually got a hard stop. I can't go past 8:30, so it's definitely going to be a probably even earlier than that. We've got to get my boy to football training, so that is what we're going to do today. But we are going to take a look here at some of the Horsch pack. I'm not going to get a chance to go through all of it, but I was blown away actually when I jumped in and had a look at this after having a little bit of a play with things at FarmCon. We couldn't see too much. We couldn't go into the store very easily. I think some of the guys did. I wonder if they actually walked over to the store trigger, but I was trying to press P to have a look in the store, and it wouldn't pop it up for me at FarmCon. So yeah, blown away actually by some of the options and some of what you can do with some of this gear. It was pretty cool. Hey Daniel, how you doing? Busy as always, just finished another farmer's market with the wife. Nice, nice one. Hey Farmer Trio, welcome along. So yeah, just some of the options, like let's go and have a look. And the map's pretty cool too. Like was it the Joker? Like the Joker, you can put a Slurry unit on, and we'll go have a look at that in a bit. As well as the seeding unit. So there's quite a bit of stuff actually when you get in there. Like, how cool is that, having a 8 meter wide 11 mile per hour seeder effectively? I'm assuming, and that's one thing I haven't actually looked, what it will actually seed. Only the two, so that's grass and oilseed. Doesn't even do canola like some of the others do. Is it this one? I mean, that one there does wheat and things, 9 miles per hour. Put the seeding unit on it, and you can plant quite a bit of stuff for pretty cheap, 25,000 and 19,000. So I've actually been looking at it to get a 6 meter wide seeder on base game. There's nothing in there in those regions, like 33, 42, and you're looking at a 3 meter wide seeder. To get up to 6 meter, you need 67 grand, plus you need the front bin. So, you know, 60, 70, 80, almost $90,000 to be doing anything with that. So you jump back in and have a look at some of those stuff, like that there. 6 meter wide, 9 mile per hour seeder. Even with the bin on it as well. You know, it's only 1,600, isn't it? 1,600 litres, but that's not bad. It's pretty good. Hello, Mrs. Professor. You like the hats? This is the hat I got in Scotland. This is my famous, I was going to say Scottish tweed hat that we got, but it's not. It's English tweed. I got robbed. I was in Scotland. Thought I need a tweed hat. Found one I liked. Got it, and then saw it was made in Yorkshire, so it was English. Anyhow, near enough, close to the border. Hey Nismo, what's up, mate? Nice to see you. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Something like so it's that one there. Something like that on the oaks would be fantastic. Exactly what we need. Nice and affordable, nice and fast. Nice to get around it. But it's also nice to see some of this bigger stuff too. Like, these are big. So we will go. I've got a few tractors set up around the place, so we're going to have a bit of a play and see what happens. They're all English anyway. Very nice, very nice. So let us go over. Let's go up and start over here. So this is the this is one of them. This is the Joker 8RT. So this is the one that has the slurry and seeding option. So I've just got it set up just as a cultivator. I'm just going to set it running around this field. Not that it really needs cultivating. Let's make it need cultivating. Let's have a look. Let's set this field. Let's set the ground in here. Ground layer. Let's put corn on it. Is there a harvested option? No, let's go back. Let's do it this way. Set field fruit, wheat, harvested. Here we go. Let's see what happens if I do that. Much better. Right, let's go and cultivate this field. Always like doing these because, you know, I end up playing with a whole lot of different tractors I don't use as well very often, so I thought I would try a little bit of course play. Now, one thing that's interesting with the map, because I was looking at this map, see the power poles and everything through there, like, they go everywhere. There's that field, they go through the middle, and it's easy to see on the map, but look at them, oh, all through the field here. They go all the way down the middle of that field, all the way through that field. In fact, there's a couple of them, they cross across the field. You just look at all those power lines and you think, gosh, that will be annoying. But I'm intrigued, and I'm going to play with course play, but no collisions on them. So, just go and roll your way straight through. So we'll see what happens with those too. But let's go and have a bit of a play. I'm going to set up course play. We'll set up course play with 2 bits of equipment, and we might drive one just to start off with. Let's see what happens. Hey Chinook, how you doing, mate? Alright, so working with multiple tools, number of headlands. Let's do 2, start work on the center. Headland corners are smooth, that's all good. Field center up and down. Let's go into lands because I think it's easier to do lands with 2 bits of equipment. Let's see what happens. Are we on the right field? Yes, can see it. Generate field work course. Lining up for a round of golf. Something like that. Something like this. I was just saying, this is one, it's my Scottish tweed hat that I got when I was in Scotland, which is actually English. But it is a bit of a golfer's hat, isn't it? Right, so let's send this dude to first waypoint, and then we're going to jump on the other and follow along. So it's left. Ah, it's going to do the old fold up and whatever. So let's just, while we're doing that, let's just go and quickly have a look at the spec. So this is, oh gosh, which one is it now? Disconnect it just to cheat. It's the Joker. This is the Joker we're starting with. So there it is. 8.2 meters wide. Runs 11 miles per hour, which is pretty good. Needs 330 horsepower and comes with the seeding unit, which you can put on it. Or the slurry distributor, or both. So that's pretty cool. And I've got it set up with the slurry distributor, so we'll go and have a look at that. But yeah, the only thing is there's just the grass and oilseed radish. So not exciting in what it'll do, but pretty cool that it does stuff anyhow. How are you, Sean? Nice to see you. Good morning. See what happens when I wear a nice hat? I get called good sir. I normally wouldn't be treated with such respect without wearing a dignified hat. Hey Yos, how are you? Firstly, I'd need to set it up as a server. Secondly, although I did see you had a look at the map, didn't you? So you must have some early access too. Proper hat, godna. Is that going to be in the merch store? Negative Chinook. Although it would be pretty cool to have a hat like this and get the logos embroidered on it somehow. Surprised that they took the, oh yeah, it's the oilseed, isn't it? Canola out, as it's a common application of the Joker slurry drill. Is that right? Alright, so we're going to run along on the right hand side of this dude. That's pretty cool. So it dropped the, let's have a look at how it looks when it's dropped. So it's sitting on the rollers. When the back tires are only for when it's folded up. Gotcha. That makes sense. So it's nice and speedy, which is cool. I like speedy equipment. Not quite up there with, what's the speed tool? What do they do? About 18 miles per hour or something, don't they? Gonna be lots of time jumping through here and comparing it to different things. Then that, they're not, are they? They must be in here. There it is, 82 grand, but compared to that, oh, they're 11 miles per hour too, so it is the same speed. It's right up there, all of these ones. In fact, a lot of the discs will run at 11 miles per hour. Seems to be consistent speed for a disc harrow. Less line of patches than any hat can be an Argsy hat, that's true. Embroidered patches. I like the way you think. I like the way you think. Good morning, Sean. Welcome, good to see you. Mentioned that too since he has that trouble. He's tried doing embroidered. No, he did printed patches. Because that was that one there. That hat there he did. Yoinks, my Argsy rules one. That was a printed patch with like an embroidered outline that he tried doing. So he's giving it some thought. Haha. Horsch-ing around, I get it. Do you know what's funny, Mulching? Good morning to you, mate. Welcome. Nice to see you live yesterday. Sorry I couldn't hang around for a while, but that map, some of those farmyards, I was like, sweet, that's screenshot material right there. I just wanted you to take a little screenshot of it. I was like, gosh, that looks beautiful. The lighting and everything, your reshade settings on point. But yeah, when I was doing my my first look after FarmCon, I'm sure I called it the horse pack at one stage. If that's the default speed, imagine how fast it'll go with working speed mod. I only put up with that mod on the server Chinook. I don't imagine it being used anywhere else. Realism is key, remember. Argsy needs to update his map list. Argsy's map list, unfortunately, Sean, I know it needs to be updated. I can't keep up with it. Can't keep up with it, so it's probably going to, unfortunately, as much as I love the idea and everything, if someone was interested in taking it over completely, I'm happy to give them all the data and everything for where we're at, but I bit off a bit more than I could chew with that one. It's one of those cases that once you fall a little bit behind, it's a full-time job just trying to keep it up to date. So, all right, what am I going to do? I do have GPS on, so let's see if I can set up a line for this and get it wide enough that we work with the courseplay. Now, I probably need to, while we do that. Snap terrain angle off. Did it before I need to do it before I create the course. Let's see if I can do this right. Interesting, actually. I don't know if I've ever had a... Mostly when I'm doing lands, they tend to turn left out of them. They're not the Derek Zoolander of Farm Sim. You caught most of MRG stream scope. Yeah, nice looking map though. Looking forward to seeing that. Christmas, you reckon? Well, that's your target. It's Christmas, so. I was going to be cheeky and say they'd moved Christmas this year and you had to be quicker, but. Having actual horses to pull plows would be fun, I agree. Being able to use the horses that are in the game to be able to do that would be awesome. Now, let's see how good my GPS is here to be able to pull up next to them. Well, that's not bad actually. Oh, because I haven't set the width. That'll be why. Yeah, that's not going to work. I think that's going to overlap too much, and when we get to the next one. I'll tell you what, I'll take a one of these. Put it behind a 330 horsepower tractor. You'll be way laughing. Going very good. I need to copy the course over and try and get it set up and running. There is no spoon. You have to explain weed eating to me. Can only imagine your face to ground feeding weeds. I had to explain to Mrs. Argsy what strimming was when we were in the UK. People were talking about strimming, and I was just like, what on earth is that? Because we call it weed eating here too. It's cool. Or line trimming. Line trimming is the alternative. Strimming just sounded weird. Get the strimmer out. Go strimming. Oops, missed a bit. Mr. Horsch won't be very happy with us. Anyhow, the maps, do you know what? I kind of like the map because of how big the fields are. I think the middle field is 200 acres or something ridiculous like that. Seems to go on forever. You can volunteer, but you've got enough on your plate. Hey nerd, how you doing, mate? Good to see you. It feels like a long time since I've done a Sunday morning stream. In fact, it's before I went away that I did a Sunday morning stream for me, isn't it? And it would have been, gosh, it was Logging League, I think, was the last one we did. That'd be right? Can't be. Can't be. Or was it our, might have been our live stream FSG and I did on Hannah, Indiana. Yeah, server crashes keep things interesting, don't they? The joys of multiplayer servers. Let's see. I can't copy a course. Why can I not copy a course? Open close generator. I thought there'd be an option to copy course in here. Right, go and jump in the other one and save it then. Oh, I can copy that one. Oh. There we go. That's how you do it. You've got to paste it first. Right, let's go and see if we can get this guy going. The botched patch. So is that affecting, it shouldn't be affecting servers. So one interesting thing I did have is when I was setting all this up with the equipment, there was a couple of times the game actually crashed when I was configuring some of the gear, which was a little bit of a worry. Just as I was sort of going through, I'm not going to try and replicate it because that'd be annoying, but just on something, if I tried to tab too quickly through these, I found it was crashing. So hopefully that's something that might get fixed or not be part of the final release. It's interesting actually that the way it's, even though I set it up doing lands, it's actually breaking the field internally into lands, not the lands where they overlap and go on the outside, which is a bit strange. Anyhow, if you were to rebuild the map, you can still embed in the site. And could do, Yos. Could do. Hey Shane, how you doing? We can find out if you get arrested in UMFA. Yes, Sean, it's on the list of things to do. On the list. I'll try and get to it this week. Right, so that's the horse joker. Well, that's the first part of the horse joker. We're going to go have a look at another part of the horse joker now. Can't get too fixated on one because we'll be here forever. So, let's jump over here. We're in that, we need to be there. And into that vehicle. Right, so I've gone and set it up with the slurry applicator because I was interested to see how this worked. So we do have here, I've never used either of these. There's two of these in the game. This is the Vervat Hydro Trike XL, 20,000 litres. We'll just disconnect it because what I love, and I didn't try it with the other one, but look at that. This is nice. You actually connect it up and it puts the hose between the slurry spreader and the unit and the cultivator, which is pretty cool. But it's very easy. Just basically unfold it and turn it on and it goes. You can see I've done a little bit of a test there. I've also got precision farming turned on because I was intrigued to see how that works. So we'll get that lowered down. Turn the slurry spreader on. Now we've actually got to lower it. There we go. And you can see our slurry going down and our nitrogen going up. So that's quite a cool applicator. So you're doing exactly the same as what we were doing in the last field, still running at 11 miles per hour. And we're dumping slurry in the ground. Not too quick either. Do you know what else was cool I discovered? Check this out. I don't know if anyone's used these too. Puts these neat little wheels out. And suddenly it becomes a whole lot more manoeuvrable because they turn and it's actually lifted. Hard to tell, but those back wheels at the back are off the ground. See it go down? So you're actually driving off those front wheels more. It's pretty cool. I don't mind a server crash, but it's been 2 days in a row at the worst times. I think I'm the only person that can say they had to reboot their server during a ceremony. But look at how manoeuvrable that makes it. Look how tight you can turn. Could have got further into the corner there. They sent the patch out to some places early, so I'm thinking the servers got it and did their normal reboot there and couldn't access the patch. I know Microsoft pushed it out earlier on their store, which updated the game for a lot of people and then they couldn't join servers. I know that was a problem. In fact, some people couldn't even play it because the patch was out early because of the must have had dates in it. I'm not sure how it worked, but... And how you doing? Good evening to you. Admire the dedication to get up so early on a Sunday to stream for us. It's literally because of where I'm set up and everything. It's the only time I can do this to minimise family disruptions and things like that. Like, do you know what I'd really love to do? And I'd love to do an early afternoon stream. So 1 PM my time. I know that doesn't bode very well for the UK European market, but yeah, I see other streamers doing those streams around that time in the US and things like that, and there's a lot of people watching Farm Sim at that time, so one day we'll find time, either weekend when the family aren't here or something, jump on and do it. But she's surprised I didn't think we'd make it the whole way around the field here with this, but we're going to. So it's just a different way to do things. It's nice to be able to sort of have a reason, although I say it'd be nice to have a reason to use this sort of equipment, but if you actually go into the slurry tanks, there's a few things you could have done it with like this anyhow, but a lot of them, yeah, that clips on the back, that clips on the back. I don't think there's actually a trailed applicator like we were using. And then you get into the pumps and hoses stuff. Of course, pumps and hoses does. Even they aren't trailed though, they're still a 3-point one, aren't they? So I don't know how, I haven't tried to see how it would integrate with any of these. I'm assuming it'll work exactly the same. It might get a bit long and cumbersome though when you've got a tractor and a slurry tanker and a tow behind piece of equipment on the back. But it does work. So there's 2 slurry tanks and we're using the Vervat, and then there's the plogger. whatever, who knows how you pronounce that, which has, where is it, about 2,000 litres more capacity in it. So not too much different to what we're using, but still does it exactly the same. It's quite cool. Much better than pumps and hoses. Pumps and hoses was cool because it brought such a new method of applying slurry manure. The gameplay element of it, I think, is fantastic. Just a little bit difficult to get to work in some instances, that's all. But I think if you spend enough time using it, it'll be worth it. Need DJ's fast farming mod. No, Sean. I've allowed it on the server, on the big map server, but that's the extent of my fast farming. I can't do it. I can't do it. You want one, Ant? Well, we might give away a copy of the game, of the DLC soon. Not the game. Better caveat that, a copy of the Horsch DLC. So hang around. Can't always cater for their parents. That's right. We like to. We like to share the love. Dazed. Gives up his me time. It's my sleep time. Scorp. Easy food if you have critters, that's right. Yep. Look at that, we're even going to make it the whole way around the field. With one run. Now what would intrigue, now I'm actually doing what I'm going to try. We're going to try something in a sec. Do you reckon, because you can have the slurry and seed at the same time, right, on this, you reckon we can do both at the same time? Let's give it a go. I'm going to buy one of these. We'll get a tractor with a tow behind slurry tank and see if we can do some planting. You'd need a lot of horsepower with that tank and the horse run, probably a 4-track. Well, that's a good point. That is a good point. Let's see. We'll figure it out. We'll have a look. But I want to see if we can do that. So, we'll park this up over here. Out of the way. Alright, turn it off. Let's go shopping. Get the dealer to deliver it. Good old store deliveries. So, we'll go and buy the... do it this way because it's easier. Joker with everything. Let's buy that. Now we're going to need to buy, so we'll need something with a 3-point front hitch because we're going to need that. Buy that. Now, so that was what? That was 330 horsepower. Let's have a look. Slurry tankers. Which one? Let's say that's 220. How much was the... That's 350, 275. That's a truck one. What did the last one need? 350. Okay, let's scale it back just a touch. 220, 220. Are both the same. Right, let's try that. Let's see if this works. Now, what is a large tractor? You know, I've already got it in mind. My favourite large tractor. Where is it? Can't find it now. I don't have a modded version of it. There we go. 517. What was it? 330. That's not quite enough, is it? Maybe we don't have a... Maybe we don't have an option. That doesn't do a 3-point linkage on the front, does it? Oh, it does. Okay. Well, then we should have used the Samsung one where it hooks up on there, but I don't have that installed. We'll go with it. Where's the track option? I've got to go under class. There we go. I like this on the tracks. Oh, is that only 530? That's not actually that much. We'll try that. We'll give 530 a go. Let's see what happens. It's an experiment. Alright, if we go backwards, it's facing that way. Alright, that's on the front. And we need that. Let's set up to end all setups. Alright. Well, it's showing seed. We've got our grass and oilseed radish options, so I'm going to be cheeky and do this. Fill unit 1 with slurry. Yep, fill unit 2 with seeds. Oh, let's put some, these are 400, oh, because it does have a little seed tank on there. Okay. So then if we go to the front, pick that, we should. So you could actually do it without that because it's got a 400 litre tank, but let's see. Fill that unit with seeds. Yep. Alright. Let's see what happens. All aboard the slurry train. Cumbersome? A little. Alright, we're turned on. We'll drop it down. Look at that. We're not applying slurry? Did I not fill up the slurry tanker? I thought I did. Ah, there we go. Had to fill that up. Do I need to turn the slurry tanker on next? There we go. Look at that. So 10 miles per hour we're applying slurry and seed. That's working pretty perfect. I like that. I can see you running around with that on the Oak server taste. Right, after all that mucking around, I just want to scroll back a little bit. Shane, you still can't play FS22, you're getting faults and freezing with your Steam edition. That seems strange. Fallen for Carpathian and Countryside recently. I've heard great things about that map and I just haven't had a chance to look at it. Set up like this would be good on Chilliwack. That's not a bad call. Sean, it's let's see if we can turn around. Set up like this actually, look at how tight we can turn. Oh, I didn't have that selected. Do this with skipper, you know, just skipper. So if I had GPS on and we skipped a row, we'd be away laughing. That's pretty cool. I like that. Shame Greenbelt didn't put Northern Coast on Mod Hub. Home internet's unserviceable presently, that's frustrating. It's not one thing, it's another, isn't it? Jessica, hello, good morning, welcome along. Hope you're having a nice weekend. Do this in full plant a cover crop and then have a fully fertilised field in spring. You could. Yeah, you'd nail it, like we're putting on, covering a lot of our needs, aren't we? All in one go. Well, does this have a, you could even play realistically and put the arm out when you're trying to get your slurry filled up. That's pretty cool. I like that it's all configurable this way. Lots of different options. And it's not showing up through too much. Have I got automatic application rate on too, don't I, for the nitrogen? So it's doing an optimal value for oilseed radish. It's not going to put on much because obviously that doesn't need a huge amount of seed, a huge amount of nitrogen, because obviously it's providing nitrogen when you harvest it, but that's pretty cool. So I think that is probably enough of a look at the Joker. Seedhawk setup. Horshford. The Seedhawk wouldn't work with the slurry either though, Sean. So you'd still need to have something behind this if you're seeding. But it's pulling it alright. We must be a little bit speed limited by the horsepower, because we're only doing 10 miles per hour, not 11. So... but yeah, that's good. I like it. Very cool. Right, let's turn that off. Leave that there. Still love the look of that tractor too, by the way. I enjoyed I had this on, what was that? On our Stone Valley series, Fringe Farmer. It's very cool. You actually noticed where the exhaust came out the side there. Yeah. Right, let us head on over. Just going to get rid of that. Where to next? Over the road. Right here. We can see everything all set up. So, we've got a harvested cornfield here. And one of the things I didn't get the chance to use in at FarmCon were the two mulches. So the first one here is the Cultivation 9TC, which is smaller fold-up 3-point linkage. And then the bigger mulcher, the Cultivation 12, which I think 9 meters, and I think that'd be 12 meters, isn't it? But let's have a look at them in the shop. So we'll jump down here, Horsch. So the first two here, the Cultivation 9TC, 8.9 meters again, at 11 miles per hour, 240 horsepower, which is quite high, I thought, for these, compared to, say, well, that's 440 horsepower. We won't compare that. That's grunty. You need something big for that, but I suppose that's not bad. 240 horse. And then this one here, 12 meters wide, 12.2 meters wide, but not much difference between horsepower between the two, but big price difference. Over double just to get that extra 3 meters. So, consideration. No options on them. You can, excuse me, change the tines there on the back. That looks like a roller, more of a roller type. And then you've got the finger tines there. Drag the stubble and whatever else you're going to drag around on it. And then just options for wheels. Michelin, BKT, Erdischten, Trelleborg. And on the Culture, you've got an option to just put some weights on the back. See them pop up in there. Otherwise, it is what it is. So let's go and give them both a little bit of a spin. So paired these, we've both got a matching T7s to have a play with this time. Let's have a look. Welcome aboard the chocolate milk train. I like it. You're making a customer version of the Zunhammer slurry cultivator that lets you seed at the same time, just not at the time for it. Right, so it does. I mean, these just do what they say they'll do. Drop them down and you can see the stubble, the stalks here of the harvested corn. I'm getting obliterated, excuse me again, and leaving you with a nice mulch state. So I've got autosave it on. Let's jump in. You go, you can see mulched popping up there, doing what it says it does. Interesting, looking at that. It's already dark green, so it's quite a late growth stage for oilseed radish. Interesting. And then around the outside, prepared is that seed bed? It's prepared a seed bed, which is the same as what's happening over there. What's happened here? Dude got lost. Interesting. Dude got proper lost on turning around. I wonder what one that was. Anyhow, we don't need to worry about that. That's still going. So let's go back and find what we were going to do. So again, nice healthy 11 miles per hour. Good running speed. Microsoft still won't let you play Farm Sim and others. So is it not rolled it back, Sean? Because they acknowledged I'd made a mistake with that Microsoft had pushed the update out earlier than they were meant to, but it's a shame that they haven't managed to roll it back. Seen the new 12 series Xerion? Yeah, I have seen some images of it. It'd be great to see. There's the new 9RX, there's the new quad track, and now that new Xerion. Be pretty cool to see some of those in game soon. Who knows? Maybe that maybe they've paired with all three of those manufacturers, and that's going to be our next next update. That'd be a. I think that would save, not save it, but because I think what we've got for the DLC has been pretty good, but that'd be a nice icing on the cake for the Year 2 season pass. Not you saying on both Giants and MS that they're working on it wasn't an update issue, it's an issue with the pre-order. Yeah. You're surprised they didn't release the Xerion in game at the same time as the real life launch with how embedded classes. Yeah, it was interesting chatting to the CEO of Christian at FarmCon about things, not specifically about class or anything like that, but just talking to him about manufacturers and, you know, what equipment they choose and that for when they bring brands in and everything. So you know, he's saying they have manufacturers who almost want their entire product line brought in, and they're like, well, hang on, we don't have the manpower to be able to model all of those, but two, they've also got to look at, you know, what do people want to use, and not just have this store list that's just got hundreds and hundreds of items. And they obviously want to do a good job on all of them too, so it's quality over quantity. For a moment you thought you was in a Yosho stream. Hey Daryl, how you doing? You like the hat, do you? I'll show you my t-shirt actually. Okay. Nuke the like button. Thank you, Chinook, for the little reminder there. Don't forget to smash that like button if you're enjoying things. There's not much else to talk about with these mulches. They just they do what they're going to do. So they're not the biggest, because I think if we go and have a look, where do they come under? Mulches. Oh, they are the biggest in-game mulcher now. There's big ones in Mod Hub and that, but they are the biggest one in-game. Can one of the rollers though? Can one of these? No, that can't be. I thought one of them could be configured to mulch, but not. Talk American, please, but I'm not American. So why would I do that? Won't allow you to play what already has been released, including the base game. It'll be something to do with the new. So there'll be, so early next week there'll be an update to the game that everyone will get the update to the game. Might fix some bugs, it could fix issues like that, but it might be there'll be a reason, and then there'll be the update for the DLC if you buy the DLC. Right, let's leave that one there. Let's go and have a look at the other one. It would be great if they released all of them but made the manufacturers add them to the game in the same way modders upload mods. That way it's up to their standards. Well, get the manufacturers to make them, you reckon? The manufacturers are too... the manufacturers aren't going to employ modelers and animators and that sort of thing to make their equipment for a game. That's the problem. Alright. It's a nice animation on the unfold on that, and this one feels like it runs faster. It's no different, but it feels faster for some reason. Maybe it's the size. do like the hat, looks great. Thank you. This is one of my Scottish purchases. We were in a town called Hoik at a whiskey distillery, and apparently Hoik is sort of one of the home areas of Scottish Tweed, and I thought, well, while in Hoik, I better get a Scottish Tweed hat, and got it home and looked at the label and it said made in Yorkshire, which is technically English, but close enough to being the same thing. There is a mod that does both. Yeah, the mulching and rolling. That'll be the one we've got on the mod, but this is cool. You can see the benefit actually having just that extra 3 meters. How much more space you're going to cover using it. Something else then, that there's an issue at the moment where the big pack doesn't actually let you activate them. Because I know I can't get onto the Oak server at the moment, dazed, because there's an update process you have to go through to get this activated, and it basically updates the game. So I think I'm on game version 1.11 or something now, whereas the current game version is 1.10. So got that to worry about. Hey, Mr. Rusty Money, how are you, mate? Good to see you. Thought I was horsing around. Do you know, I actually looked, there's I don't think there's a horse stable on here. I would have had to put a horse stable down just to be able to buy a horse. There is an animal dealer down here, but none of the, obviously the map being the map, is entirely arable. There's no animal pens or pastures or anything like that, which is understandable because it's the real life horse farm, and they wouldn't be too worried about animals. But I did plan. I thought, oh, I could put a stable down, get a horse, and then that could have been this. Should have been on the screenshot, and I should have started the stream sitting on a horse. Your granddad used to wear one like it. Nice. I've got a builder I work with who lives in them. He's wearing a hat like this all the time. I think it'd be a cool way to free up development. Giants has the new mechanics that manufacturers want to use, but you'd have mods by class, etc., since they're paying Giants anyway. Do you reckon they pay Giants? Whose best interest is it in to have class? Is it Giants' interest or class's interest to be in farm sim? I'd honestly have thought it was Giants' interest to have the manufacturers, rather than the other way around. I don't know, I'm entirely speculating on it, but you know, like EA Sports, they pay license fees to, or the Formula 1 game, they'll be paying license fees to use the EA Sports, to use the Formula 1 team's licenses and all those kind of things. Don't know. The equipment in the DLCs, it is looking good, Rusty. Huge amount of options, actually. That's what blew me away when I jumped in. I was talking about it just before, is the way you can configure some of the things. So I think, is it this one? I'm just trying to remember now. One of the... this one just has the 2 options on the back. Which one was it? The Tiger. No, Tiger's just got the rollers on the back or front. This one, like the Tiger 8, you can put the front bin on and you can fertilise with it, which again, another bonus. So you can get some fertiliser in your fields. Which one was it? Was it? No. No, one of them had about 8 different options at the back. No, it's going to be the finer, isn't it? Yeah, this one here has about 7 different design configurations on it. So, the plain bog standard cultivator, got the finger tines on the back, wheels at the front, roller at the back, roller and tines at the back, nothing but the wheels, and then just the tines with the wheels. So huge amount of options on that one, and you can seed with it too. I think this is one of the... Did I get to use the finer? I think I did. Or was like the... That's just a cedar, so yeah. Lots of different options. Anyhow, let's carry on. So that's the two mulches. Look at the fields though. I think for the field 916, it's 85 hectares. I think when I go and stand in it, we'll go do that in just a second. In fact, let's go stand in it now. It's 210 acres of workable land in here, 230 acres in the land area, but the actual field is 210 acres. Does it have to easily be the biggest field ever in a base game map, surely? Or a Giants map. Not really base, can't say it's base game if it's DLC, but in a Giants map. Right, so moving on, we were going to have a look at a couple of the cedars. So we've got the Pronto 6DC, that's the 6 meter wide cedar. And this one here is the Avatar 1225. Now both of these are direct drill, so no cultivation required. So that's why I thought I'd have a look at these and suss them out. So we've got the Pronto sitting here on the 6R. Let's jump in and have a look at this first. I've already got it set up with some seed and fertilizer in it, so there's lots of options actually, which I thought was pretty cool. I'll go and find it in here. Lots of different ways you can set the tanks up. So we've got the 4,000 litres of seed, puts this extra tank on there to give a little bit more seed. You go to 5,000 litres, so you can see it gets taller and longer. Yeah, puts sort of that bit more space on the back. So lots of seed in that one, right up to 5.4. And then you can go for the split with the fertilizer. So you've got 2 and 3, you've got 2, 4 and 3. And back to the 4. So that's some pretty cool options there. Then you've got the tire roller by default, which is the one at the front. Row control, as you can see. What does that add? Adds a whole lot, changes how this is all done. So I think row control means you can turn rows on and off if it was using some sort of automated system. And then you've got the ridge markers as well. So if you weren't using GPS or something. So lots of different options on that one. Chilnick, thank you very much, my friend. Those 5 gifted memberships. Scorp, David, Grant, Strody, and Mark, all getting memberships. Thank you, mate. Appreciated. And you should, if anyone's interested in flight sim, go and check out Chinook. I watched he was streaming last night. He flew from Sydney to Auckland in a 737-800, wasn't it? But it's quite interesting watching because he plays, unlike his farming, he plays very authentic. What do you mean I can't plant this in August? We'll fix that. Let's have a look. No. Alright, now we can plant it. We'll fix that. And on the back of that, Banks coming in the "You Are Amazing" sticker, 1999. Thank you very much, Banks. Great to see, mate. Hope all is well with you. And thank you very much for that very kind donation. So look at this. Again, it's so fast. It's 11 miles per hour. I feel like I'm flying. I can't think if there is any other cedars that do plant at such a speed. 7, 7, 7. It's the front tank. 7, 9, 10. Oh, there we go. The Vaderstadt Rapid. 11, 9. And the Amazon's at 11 as well. But I think that goes 12, 11, 11, and 9. So we're pretty speedy, pretty rapid. That one there is pretty cool at 12 miles per hour. But I've always liked the Horsch Pronto though. I think there's one in Mod Hub, so there has been one that you've been able to use in game. AI Worker C's left the course. Whoops. But yeah, pretty cool. Direct drill, direct seeding, works perfectly. You're in love with the DLC? Yeah, I think this one's probably going to be would say is the best one so far. Hey Mark, Good to see you, mate. No need to apologise. Great to see you and welcome in. So yeah, trucking along. I did look, is this, oops, wrong button. This one is, from memory, 220 horsepower. Yeah, right, with 200 horsepower. And then the Avatar, which is the other one, is 300 horsepower. So, need a little bit of grunt to pull them, but not too much. 200 horsepower is not offensive. I mean, if you were running a couple of mowers, like a triple mower setup or something on a tractor, you'd be needing that much power, so highly likely most operations are going to have a 200 horsepower tractor pretty easy. So you might work on an Aussie 16x map. When you say you might work on one, you're saying that DLC will work on one, or you might work on making one, Sean? Don't underestimate the undertaking of a map that size. Unless, of course, it's just big fields with a little bit of decor and things. So yeah, that's it does what it does. Interesting to have this on somewhere like Court Farms and see how you could get it in and out of some of the gates. I think this might just about be the biggest seeder you'd want to take through some of those gates, even with the Steel Horse and FSG's little XML edit to open the gate wider. Yeah, that works perfectly. Nice setup, nice looking setup actually, behind the John Deere too. Perfect tractor for the job. And you see everything's happening down in the bottom left corner too. We're getting our nitrogen going through. We haven't chewed up through too much fertilizer, so get that done. Right, which way does this field go? Alright, let's go and have a look at the other one now, which is this way. So we'll have a look at this in the shop as well. Which one? This is the very end. No, it's not the Maestro. Avatar 1225. I didn't look at what they seed, but it's all your arable crops. It's a seeder, not a planter, so it does everything that a seeder would normally do. There is the planter here, which does your corn and cotton and sunflowers, etc. As does that one there too. That's cool. A couple of options in different sizes. But in terms of your configurations, again, you've got different options for your tanks. So seeds and fertilizer, that increases your seed capacity. So just those two options there for that. And change the seeder unit design, which changes how the row units in that are configured. So you've got the sort of central one for each side, or split into two on each side. Won't change your performance or anything. And then wheels, standard or wide. Trelleborg, Michelin, Continental, Verdestein, Trelleborg. Back to start. It's pretty simple, unassuming. Again, runs at what's this, 9 miles per hour and 300 horsepower. It's a little bit slower, but you get the bigger width. And I had to put this on my favourite tractor. Haven't used the 8RX enough in game. Pretty cool animation too, the way it unfolds. Always amazes me the engineering on these, because the stresses that go through this, because you know you're putting it in the ground and dragging it through. That in itself is pretty impressive, but even just the forces that must go through it when they're folding and unfolding, pretty cool. But there we go. Does what it says it'll do. Off for now, grabbing a power nap as you're exhausted. Thanks for the entertainment, take care, and don't forget to like. Thanks mate, good to see you. Congrats again on the graduation. I know I said that to you in a message, but congrats congrats again. We'll hopefully, you know, if you're around in 14 hours or so, maybe we can touch base on the oaks and get you those silage bales. Right. So while that goes, because that's just doing its thing, I'm going to go into Nightbot. And let's do a keyword giveaway for a copy of the DLC. It will be PC only as per the norm, but there we go. Can I say there is 26 viewers in here at the moment, so there'll be a pretty good chance you might be able to pick up a copy. So contrary to Chinook's request, the keyword is going to be horse, H-O-R-S-E. Let's put that into chat and we'll roll that in a couple of minutes. It was exhausting but worth it, and just for sure pop me a message. Cool man, will do. Oh, I give away, hang on for a second. There we go, it's a horse, just as scorpions ridden it. So it will be PC only. I can give you a Giant's key or a Steam key, I think. I'll have to figure that out. But I'll give you a key for that. That's a pretty good straight line, isn't it? I'll claim that. How nice are these tractors? Another good looking combo. Does horsing around count? No, isn't going to be just horse. Although it might actually pick up your horsing. It might pick up horse out of your sentence. Horse and buggy. Your chariot awaits. So these I love the size of these fields. Like, how big is this one? Why is that telling me? Gotta be on the right map. 37 here, so it's half the size of that one. It's still a 100-acre field though, isn't it? There or thereabouts. That's what I was just thinking too. Interesting, the precision data on the soils there. Very little loamy sand. In fact, very little of the high quality soils. The sandy loams, a little bit through the middle, but. And for those just joining, there's no collisions on the power lines, as you can see. So play as real as you like or not for doing that. Your OC didn't like me typing it. Fair enough. Alright, let's try and do the same back. Does have a nice size. It's impressive, the size of the fields. Probably still not big enough for you, Scorp, but for a base game, for a Giants map, you got 3 decent sized fields. So at 25 hectares, 20. So 1, 2, 3, 4 pretty decent sized fields, and then you get down the bottom here, quite a few smaller ones. I think when you start off, you get sort of this connection, 12, 13, or 11, 12, 13, 14, I think was what you got as starter farm. I don't know, I've bought everything, so. Hey, poor boy, how are you? Stop by to say hey and hit that like button. Excited to give this a go. Well, if you don't have a copy yet, poor boy, type horse into chat and we're just about to give a copy away. So you might have timed it perfectly. PC players, it'll be a PC copy. So anyone who's just jumped in, we'll give it another 30 seconds. If you put horse in chat and we'll roll it to see who might win. Let's make sure it's picked everyone up. There's a few people there. Oh, thanks, Rusty. Argsy's amazing. This community here is amazing. Can't agree with you more, mate. Can't agree with you more. No needs to say bus. I like it. And horse walks into a bar. Hey, says the barman. Yes, please, says the horse. Dad joke of the day, right there. You got the season pass already, so give it to someone who's awesome, mate. No worries. I know that's the case. A lot of people have the season pass, so. Right, let us go back into here. Have a look. At least it's not the cop and a horse joke. Right, let's see who this picks for us. Haha. First time back in chat for a while, and Scorp has won. There you go, mate. Congrats. I'll get you, let me know what you want. No kidding. No kidding at all. Nightbot said so. Nightbot said so. So, I'll drop you a DM with a, are you happy with the Giants download? You demand a recount. Right. Cheers, Dazed. Have a good one, mate. We'll catch you soon. Toodles. Sound like my wife. I mean that in the nicest possible way. So it's not going to take too long to do a field with that, is it? Even a good sized field like that feels like a long run, but it is a long pass. A while to get across, but not too bad. Not too painless. Not too painful. Not too painful. It is very painless. Might have to fill up a bit though. I mean, 2 more passes, 2 more runs of this, we're actually going to be out of seed and fertilizer. The rate's chewing through it, so keep a seed tender handy. Probably for something like this, you'd be using what, a trailer with big bags and a telehandler or something. Map looks good. It does, poor boy. I agree. I agree. It's got for big open fields. It's got a nice feel to it, doesn't it? Just looking across there, the trees and around the map border and things. I actually quite like, where did I see it? Somewhere. Let's go out. I'm going to go for a fly. Leaving equipment turned on all over the place. Somewhere, you go right up and have a look at the map borders. Well, you can actually see, you know, the way they've got the fields in the image. There's just north of the Horsch farm, there is it's right on the edge of a village, so you know, that's actually the satellite image. So this is a bit of a departure for Giants. They, you know, their maps have always been inspired by regions or loosely based on regions, but never a realistic map. But obviously, as this is a real map, which Horsch tests their equipment on, a Horsch farm that's owned by Horsch, only appropriate that they do use it like this, and yeah, it gives for a nice map border. Still done the old plant a tree down every side so you can't see past it, but that's right, and looking across there, across another field, a few rolling hills in the distance. This field here is quite interesting. It's probably the most, it's this one up the top here with this little piece in here. Probably the most awkward of the lot, but awkward fields are good. Gives it a little bit more interest. There's these cool little plots too. What's that got growing in it? Weeds. And more weeds. Oh, it was Court Farms actually. Was it Court Farms had a couple of little garden plots like that where you could see different different crops on the map. They're quite funny. Construction site there. Yeah, quite a bit going on when you get her up and around the map. slurry tank. That has a purpose, or is it just a random slurry tank in the middle? Probably for testing things out. Running 2 would make short work even on mega fields. It would, Sean. Yeah, pairing up this equipment would be cool. A couple of them running. It looks good, but you were in MRG stream yesterday. Indeed. Yeah, that, is it Stitzer? I don't know how to pronounce it. Switzer? Can't remember it now. But yeah, that map he's working on looks great. Some of the areas. Very nice indeed. And train track over here. The sawmill. It does have a sawmill. Probably doesn't need one, but this was something we noticed a lot when we were in Germany. There's a little, solar farms and that all around. Side of the motorway and everything like that. Or the side of the autobahn. Lots of that going on. Train tracks coming in here. It's quite cool. Sidings and everything like that. Very nice. But yeah, there's a big field in the middle. Big field in the middle. We're going to have a play on that actually now. So we've got some planters going to have a look at. Right. Let's jump up here and have a look-see. So we've got a couple, I mean it's only appropriate after being at FarmCon, we did have a play with a couple of Deutz. So 7 series, we've got the Warrior, and we've got the standard paint colour. Do you know every single Deutz Far is made to order? So on the production line, which was cool, you'd have 6 series, because they built the 6, 7 and 8 series in the plant we had a look at. And each one was different. There would never be 2 in the production line exactly the same. So if a farmer or a dealer, because obviously some of them the dealer orders how they think their local market is. If they wanted a black Warrior, then you'd see that pop up. They just wanted a standard green. There'd be those. So it was pretty cool seeing them all come alive and as they ran along. But anyhow, let's take a look at these weeders. And I said in my first look that we had, this one here is probably my favourite. Well, at the time it was probably my favourite piece of equipment, but having now seen some of the options of the other stuff, there's some pretty cool things in there. Anyhow, ignore the weeds because they didn't populate very well, but get this, oh it's loud, get this unfolded, because this weed is cool. The weeds look like your backyard. Not anymore, didn't you get rid of all of those? So this one's obviously very much focused on working into row. So when you lower it down, and you can see how it can slide across on the top link, and there's a hydraulic ram in there. So it's got all this, let me have a look in there properly. Can't get up in there now. See the ram in there, it's got the 2 slides, everything's all independent. So you've got your 3-point linkage, and then that can slide across on those bars. So when we come to lower it down, watch the rows, see how it moves across, and it actually adjusts as you're driving. So see how it slides? If you got too far off, see how I'm so far offline now it's not going to work, but which way do we want to go? If we go across that way, it adjusts because I jump rows. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool how it snaps to the rows like that. So long as you, let's get our wheels down a row. We drove along with our wheels in this row perfectly. Then from a visual point of view, that's going to run in the right spot. I still can't drive down the road properly. There we go. So I think that's all controlled by these sensors on the front here. So these row sensing units, which I guess is a little bit like the see and spray technology you have on like a on a sprayer. So it's detecting where the row is and making sure you stay in it. That's pretty cool. So this is a funny story. When I was younger, so my dad used to grow pumpkins, kabocha, which is buttercup squash, which was grown for the Japanese export market. And so pumpkins are grown at probably what would they be, a 1 meter, 1.2 meter row spacing. So we used to have and they were planted 3 rows at a time, so the planter would do 3 rows. So we used to run a weeder down them, and a squash plant, when it's, if you've ever seen a baby pumpkin, it's basically 2 leaves, and they're probably about that big, 1, 2, and what's that? No. 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 I lost my train of thought, sorry kids. So we used to, we hand built a weeder for it, which would run down the rows, but the way we kept it in alignment is we built something very similar actually to this with configuration, where it was a hydraulic ram and you could move the cultivator across, or the weeder across, to keep it on the rows. But it was all done manually. So back on the back here, I used to have a seat, and I'd sit here like this, and my job, I had a hydraulic lever, and my job was to adjust the lever and adjust the weeder across left or right to keep it lined up on the rows. So it was all done manually, none of this technology with sensors or anything like this. It was all hand done, and that was my job. So long days sitting on the back of a tractor, the back of a tractor, keeping something aligned. So I've lost my job to AI. Not that I wanted that job. It was an interesting one, to say the least. Right. That's the one thing I can see actually with this though, is if you get it set up in the wrong row, like I am there, there's a potential you'd miss some of your weeds. But sounds safe. It wasn't too bad, Sean. We weren't going too fast. And I was sitting so far back, if I did fall off, I'd fall off behind the piece of equipment. It was to the point where sometimes we'd actually get out and hand weed them. We'd walk around with a little garden hoe and weed them by hand. Bosch would have a field day with that. They probably would. Probably have a field day with the child labour as well. Worry about that another day. Lawn darts and steel Tonka toys. Those steel Tonka toys hurt when someone threw them at you. So I'm pretty taken by this, that the technology. I mean, that's the only downside, is when you do get off row and it goes, oh, I'll slide a whole way across a row. But if you're running this with GPS or something like that, it'd stay pretty true. Does it work with the worker? No. Actually I've disabled that button. Oh yeah. Now, are they going to sit in a row though? I'm not sure. Let's see. This is the problem. A worker's going to pop all over the place. And just run straight into my tractor on the side of the field. Honestly, I'd help. Alright, let them keep doing their thing. What way are they going to turn that way? Right. We'll go the other way. Hey Bo, how you done? Morning. Floyd, good morning to you too, mate. How are you? Hope you're having a good morning. Hope you had a good first week back at school. You love my hat, do you? This is all the way from Scotland, Floyd. Managed to pick this up when we were over there. It's my authentic British tweed. I'll call it British tweed because it's not Scottish as much as I wanted it to be. So this is the big sucker, the big planter. We did get to have a play with this at FarmCon. And if we go and have a look, this is it here, the Cura 24S. It's 24S because it's 24 meters wide. Only needs 200 horsepower, so not a huge demand on it. And no options except for the type of rubber you have on the back. And no changing to width or anything. One thing I did notice actually, if you've got crop destruction turned on, these tyres did destroy fields. They'll be alright in this size because I'm pretty sure Nothing would damage the crops in this size, because it's the first growth stage. Yeah, we're running along pretty nice. Covers a huge amount of ground in one go. It does what it says it'll do. So if you're into your mechanical weeding rather than spraying or anything like that, not a bad choice. Your parents had lawn darts. Always wonder why they let us play with them. And that's how you learned that pointy things that are sharp aren't very safe. Farm family exempt from silly safety rules. That's it. That's it, Gold Canadian. Easier to see what's been weeded. It's very easy to see what's been weeded in this one, eh? I don't know what happened with the weeds when I put the weeds on in this, but for some reason, if you have a look in here, they got all streaky and patchy. It's really weird, but I was using easy dev to put the weeds in, so I've got different weed growth states all over the place. So this will actually be a good example. It's taking out the smaller weeds, but it's not going to take out those medium-sized weeds. And they are spray only, and then obviously the big weeds will be spray only as well. But you can see it plucking out the little ones in between. But somehow ended up with multiple growth stages of weeds on here. But pretty cool big weeder. Feels a bit slow. I'm just gonna have a look now. What's 7 miles per hour? It's, yeah, 7 miles per hour is its speed, so they're both 7. So that's it. Nice big weeder, nice big weeder. Right. Let's hire a helper with that and see how they go. So no row technology or anything on this. It just pulls through, does what it does. We'll leave that going. Have a look at the other one. Let's see what's happening. Let's see, is it still keeping its row? Or is it going to keep sliding? So you see it adjusting there. So the helper's not quite staying square, so it's going to jump in a second. It's going to run out of adjustment and go, oh, you're in another row. Well, actually the worker looks like they've adjusted back, haven't they? They're sort of steering the tractor back to the left a little bit. Has the DLC been registered? This is early access, Bo. It comes out on Tuesday, 25th, so it's only a couple of days away. Hey Daniel, welcome to the team, mate. Thank you very much for becoming a channel member. Really appreciate that, thank you. So, what have we looked at? Let's have a look in the list. So, that's the Cultro 9T and 12 TCs, the 2 mulches. We did have a look at those on the stubble. We didn't have a look at the finer, so just quickly look through it. This is one you can seed with. This is the one that had all the different design options with how it could be configured. So pair that with the front tank and you can plant any of the arable crops. The wheat, oats, barley, canola, soybeans, sorghum, oilseed radish and grass. So lots of different options for those. The Tiger 8 MT, we didn't look at this either. This is one of the bigger cultivators. Needs 440 horsepower for 7.5 meters wide. So big power demand needed for that one. But bonus for this, if you put a front tank on it, you can actually run fertilizer. So you have to be mindful of what tractors you can actually put a front 3-point on to use that. There is an option there for putting a roller on the back as well, but that doesn't change anything else. But yeah, just be mindful of what tractors. It's going to have a look in the large tractor range. Over 440, no. So the class, you get up to 445 on, so that does. The 8RT, No, 8R, sorry, 458, so that would. JCB doesn't. The T8 doesn't quite. The Axiom would. So there's a few options in there. 8RX, of course, will. 458. The Magnum should. Oh, no. That one's small. Does the Casera, is it that one there? No, even that one there doesn't get up to enough. Just having a look at a couple of the modded ones. Of course, the Fent 1000 series. Easily. And we found the Xerion does. So you could put a front 3-point on those. So a few options. A few options for that. What else is there? Oh, we had a look at the Joker. The Joker was cool. I like this with the Slurry and seed unit, so you can do everything. Just the only thing it does, as we said, it only plants the grass and radish there, so not a huge amount of options. We had a look at the partner tank. The Taro is another seeder. You can see that does all your arable crops. 12 miles per hour. That one's fast. That one's fast, which is pretty cool. The Pronto, we didn't look at the small one, but it works exactly the same as the 6 meter wide one, which we did have a look at. Both direct drill, which is cool. As does the Avatar, which is just basically a bigger version. Does the same things, plants the same things, just at a wider width. Slightly slower, 9 miles per hour rather than the 11, but much the same. And then there's the 2 Maestros. This one here you need to partner with the front tank. A few different options on this actually, whether you put fertilizer in it, and then there's the track loosening tines for behind your wheels, so it just freshens up the soil, and the ridge markers if you don't want to use GPS. And then the big one, 12 meters wide, 350 horsepower. Not many options. In fact, you can go wide or standard narrow twins, and then different wheel types. But that will plant all your corn, cotton, soybeans, sunflowers, and sugar beet. And then we looked at the 2 weeders. So the only things we really didn't look at were a couple of planters and the Tiger Mate. This one here, I think, because it's a cultivator. In fact, let's have a look. I want to play with that. Let's just do this. I want to go and see something. We'll jump on. In fact, let's go over. Jump in there. Go find this one. Does it have a front 3-point? It does. Alright, we'll disconnect that. And if we just jump out here, bring up our store. This is one I just want to have a look at. Put the seeder on it. Yes, I'll buy that. And then we'll get the partner tank. Put it on with a roller packer on it. Just for the sake of it. Alright, let's have a look. Oops. Alright, around the other way. Do it this way first. All I'm thinking here is this is a cheap alternative to some of the other things. Jump in there, fill that with seeds. Right. Turn it all on. Lower that down. So the only thing it doesn't do is obviously fertilize, where the Pronto's fertilizing. And it runs just a little bit slower, but it's 9 miles per hour. If we turn it off, it doesn't cultivate. That's interesting. So when it's set up to seed, you can't use it just as a cultivator. Yeah. So I'm just going to reconfigure that. I should have. Do I have my? No, I don't have my mobile. Ah, that's a pain. Do it this way. You can buy another one. So when it doesn't have the seeder unit on, so you'd have to use your workshop. I'm guessing this is going to work as a cultivator. Yeah, there you go. So you can't use it as a cultivator if it has the seeder on it, because it identifies as a seeder. But you can use it as a cultivator when it's not a seeder. That's a bit frustrating, isn't it? I wonder if that's meant to be like that. Almost like it needs to allow it to be a direct seeder. Because why, if in this configuration can it cultivate and drop seed, if it's dropping, you can see where the seed goes down behind the tines. Might share that. Share that with the Giants team. I'm sure I'm not the only person who's discovered that. But you should be able to cultivate. In my opinion, if it's a cultivator, if you've got it turned off from seeding, it should still be able to cultivate. I suppose that's the difficulty, isn't it? Because it will be direct. It's because it's set as a direct seeder. That's the problem. So it is doing direct drill there. So be mindful if you're going to buy this, the finer. It's either one or the other. Drop that down, do a little bit of rolling on the way. That's pretty cool. I just saw the platform there. I figured it must open up. Nice animations on those. There we go. Well, I think I might wrap things up there, unless there's anyone in particular wanted to have a look at. But we've covered pretty much everything. Just haven't looked at the planters is about the only thing now. But we've had a good look at everything else. Another traffic jam down there. Our weeder. Turning around on the road. I suppose that's a good thing that there's enough space around the edge of the fields for hired help to turn around, but would be nice if it didn't do it the way it's doing it. Right, well, I'm going to wrap things up there. I've got to get off to kids football, so go and sort things out, have some breakfast and that before we go to there. So thank you everyone who's joined. Appreciate having you here watching. To those new members, thank you very much. Thank you for becoming channel members. Appreciate the support there, and to Banks as well for that very generous donation. Appreciate you, mate. Thank you for coming in. Everyone else who's been watching, thank you. Scorp, congrats on winning the copy of the DLC. I'll get that out to you the next day or so. I'll drop you a DM. Hopefully the Giants, if I'd send you a Giants code will be enough, but yeah, drop me a DM and we'll have a chat about it. But otherwise, DLC comes out on Tuesday the 25th, so only a couple of days to wait. If you haven't got it yet and you're interested, there is a link there in chat to purchase it through the Giants store, of course using the code Argsy Gaming, or any of the other content creators. Farm some guy, if you want to support someone other than me, and you are buying it through Giants, make sure you do, because it doesn't cost you anymore and it goes towards helping us, supporting the channel. Anyhow, thank you everyone. It's nice to be back on a Sunday morning. We'll just have to play it by ear how my Sundays go, because we do have football every morning now. It is getting full on with that, but hopefully we'll be back again next week. I've got some things planned for the streams, so I'm looking forward to bringing those to you. What else is there? Get back to some proper content, proper videos. It's nice to have the Oaks out this week, and we'll definitely be getting back into that, as well as Chilliwack and a couple of other little things I've been planning. So we'll see how that all comes together over the next few weeks, including finding out how much trouble Dan is in, whether he's in real trouble or whether he's going to get out of it, talk his way out of it this time. So we will wait and see what happens. Anyhow, I'm out of here. You guys have a good rest of your weekend. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.